Welcome to the Arbornaut, a special podcast on agroforestry. Today, we are setting off on a journey to explore a groundbreaking agroforestry initiative taking root in Gujarat, India. This project is a beautiful marriage of tradition and cutting edge technology, aiming to revive old school agricultural practices while simultaneously forging a more sustainable future. Throughout this episode, we will delve into the state of art nursery, churning out saplings, and explore how organic farming will work hand in hand with traditional wisdom passed down through generations. Agroforestry, as you all know, is the agriculture of the future. It is not only to increase farm yields, but also promote soil health and biodiversity. And to talk on this, we are very honored to have with us Chintan Raval, the visionary behind this project. Hello, Chintan, how are you?
Good morning, Bhuvan. Thank you for having me on your platform. Thank you. I'm doing good.
Chintan, with all of these activities happening at your Gujarat site, can you provide an overview of the specific goals and objectives of the agroforestry initiative? To say it in another way, what are the primary environmental and social outcomes of your aim to achieve?
Thank you for the question. To start with, I want to share the organization we have created, or the name is called Shambhala Orchard and Agro. It is established to enhance and implement sustainable organic farming model that harmonizes modern agriculture technology and environmental sound practices. Our primary goal includes enhancing the biodiversity, restoring the the soil health, and reducing the carbon footprint of farming operations. Socially, also, we aim to create sustainable livelihood, increase food security, and impart agricultural education to the local community. Now, the goal and the objectives have been defined by my experience staying away from home for a little over 10 to 15 years and getting an opportunity to see the global organic practices implementation. I've seen the practices implemented in South America, North America, and many other regions globally. So I believe India had this practice past, but I think it's time that we come back to our roots and bring back the goals, what we had already in place.
Chintan, one must say that you are building a state-of-the-art pilot nursery, and it has the capacity of 2 lakh 200,000 saplings in climate controlled environment, and that too in the state of Gujarat, which used to be scarce in water. Can you tell us that how do all of these things work towards the overall success of your project in such difficult environment, I must say?
I agree with you. And I remember my old days when the water scarcity was so bad that we only get water supply for drinking water every 15 days. So it was very important to understand the value of water, because the next generation have seen the abundance of it. We haven't seen it, right? And I feel that water is the key critical resource for anything in life, for human life, for plants, for everything. So the intention behind the nursery is to have a covered shade net area where the water is utilized in the optimal way. But most importantly, we also want to develop organic practices. The root saplings, what we develop in that nursery, we are only using organic products like vermicompost or low EC coco pit. These are natural antifungal and natural fertilizers. You don't have to use any chemical. You don't have to use anything that needs to be enhancing the plant. Now, when the plants are sapling, they're like kids or they're like child. A child needs to be nurtured and taken care more than a grown-up, right? So a child, we want to make sure the saplings grow in a healthy environment. They get optimal water. We measure the tray weights, and we also make sure that all the different varieties can be propagated under this nursery.
I think it's a very innovative way of looking at agroforestry, that places which are scarce in water can still host nurseries using minimal amount of water in, the style that you're saying. A bonus for our viewers, these are the innovations that Chintan and his team are doing. Okay, Chintan, tell us, we are curious to know what is the role of organic farming in your agroforestry initiative, and how do you plan to integrate it with the traditional agricultural practices like you mentioned?
So organic farming has always been at the heart of our initiative. Um, Now, aiming at eliminating the use of synthetic chemicals and promoting soil health through the natural methods, it is very important that we truly implemented this by developing a best practice model. We have integrated traditional agriculture wisdom, which we had from our, religious books, or I should say, the books of knowledge from our society. And say, for example, organic manure is a natural pest management, right? With modern technology of automating irrigation system and soil health monitoring, this blend of old techniques and new technology combination can help us get the high productivity while we also maintain the ecological balance.
Blending the traditional knowledges that realize the weather patterns and introducing new observations and techniques, because material science is moving places. This is what you have anticipated and you're working, and our next question is motivated on the same. Tell us the anticipated environmental benefits of the project that you are implementing, and especially in terms of carbon credits and achieving net zero targets. That's a big challenge for society right now.
Yes, I feel a lot of people don't understand the importance of, what we are seeing, the problems what we have in the society right now in agriculture practices. We are ignoring soil erosion. We are ignoring over usage of certain chemicals like urea or fertilizers, which are not natural there, right? So it is spoiling the soil health, and it is also not truly helping our carbon achievement goal, or the goal what we have for being net zero. Our intention on this project, what we have designed, it is to have a significant positive impact on the environment by enhancing, carbon storage or carbon sequestration process, what they call it, through extensive tree plantation. We will have trees in the peripheral, we will have trees inside the field, and essentially it's an agroforestry project. So it is designed in a way that we can contribute towards the carbon credit. We aim to reach net zero target by reducing greenhouse gas emissions through sustainable farming practices. This will, this will help the environment and environment impact, including soil carbon content, biodiversity indicators, and overall ecosystem health. If that helps you understand how this will help with the net zero goal.
Definitely, Chintan. Chintan, this also informs us that agroforestry is about land management and understanding succession, of plants that will be required to turn a desert into a forest. It's a mammoth undertaking, a very noble undertaking, a very intelligent undertaking, because if the forests are restored, the water bodies will be restored automatically. Very creative of you to, pull all of this together. This also opens up the door for potential investors, I assume. What is your message for the potential investors? What kind of returns or impacts can they expect? And, I'm looking at this from a CSR perspective also, corporate social responsibility perspective, turning the desert into a forest, and also from an investment point of view, is there a business sense behind it? Because a forest can feed, a city. So please, your thoughts on that, please.
I want to start by saying to that question, and that's a great question, because it is important for investors, just like in North America, South America, or many other countries globally, for them to understand that farming in India is also an investment. I know there are a lot of compliances and a lot of things, the government policies in place, which are not giving that investor confidence in Indian market. And I truly believe, reviewing and understanding the policies, it exists, and it exists very well. But the potential investors can partner and engage with us on various levels. from funding specific phases like expansion of our pilot nursery to support the integration of advanced agriculture technologies. We are also currently seeking investment for our next phase, which involves scaling up our organic vineyard, which we have done our complete environmental and all the soil study and all the necessary studies required. And this in turn will help give a great social impact and also a water saving technology, what we are implementing. This will also help the community and the livelihood of the people around. So it's a combination of a social impact with water conservation and also a great advanced modern agroforestry initiative, which I'm sure for an investor, there is a great fruitful return for investment. I should say that if you invest in farming, I personally believe you're looking at more return for investment than your regular stock market. I think my research proves it, or the people I've talked to proves it, that farming is the future. So
Certainly,
do what
certainly.
the best of the people do it.
Yeah, and Chintan, for all the agroforestry geeks watching this show, they will realize that in an arboreum, in a forest, there is a top canopy, there is a middle canopy, shrubbery, plants, grass, roots, and vines. Right? These are the 5, 6 components of an agroforestry. So you are using the nth level of productivity of that ecosystem to create a green ecosystem, a hydrated ecosystem, a living ecosystem. You are trying to give birth in the desert. I really applaud your effort, and I want everyone to join this mission. We hope this episode of our podcast series has shed some light on incredible agroforestry initiative blossoming in Gujarat. We've covered the project's vision, innovative practices, and the anticipated benefits of the environment and local communities. Moving forward, we will keep you updated on the project's process and delve deeper into specific aspects of future episodes. We'll also be featuring interviews with key players involved in the initiative, including the team behind the strategy, partnership building. And remember, friends, this innovative project is a collaborative effort, and there is a place for everyone on the table. Stay tuned to learn more about how you can contribute to building a greener India and a Haryali globe. From us, Namaskar.